start again. It's a Redskin.
So I came home after work today and went ahead and just put this thing together. I haven't put on this back panel yet because it's a solid panel as opposed to like this one here that has the door and the zippers and stuff like that. So I got to figure out a way to put either Velcro or some way that I can put the door on it. And I mean, I could always just remove the Velcro and then just, you know, pull the car in and out. I like doing it from the back, you know, pulling it in and out of the trailer like this because the gate is that way. And of course I could back the truck in and it just makes it easier than trying to do it through this part of the yard. So this is pretty much all done. The only thing I think I might upgrade is the paneling that I put here way back. Let's see, how many years? It's been a couple of years since I built this. I just put 1/2-inch plywood. Now it's held up the car surprisingly, you know, these past couple of years that I've been working on it. But there's areas like right here. I don't know if you could see it, but it's kind of dipped down to where this is where the front tire of the car sits. And now when I put it on, I'm going to grab those pieces of wood there, those 2x, and put it over this area in case, you know, I don't want the car to drop through this plywood. And the only reason it was doing that was because it was sitting in the rain and the snow and all the stuff now. I mean, right now it's like 80 degrees, so it's kind of weird how on Wednesday, we had, you know, like a couple of inches of snow on the ground. Alright, so last night I was working on the car for a little bit, just buttoning up a couple of little things, and it got pretty late, and it got really dark. So I went to the wonderful world of Walmart and picked up one of these LED shop lights. I don't know, 16 bucks I guess. A little bit of extra chain, which I probably didn't even need, and an extension cord. And I also had to fix this big yellow extension cord that I have here because it had originally 3 outlets on one end and 2 of them had given out, so I just went ahead and bought receptacles and wired it up, so now I have 4 plugs. And hopefully when I plug it in, I don't go up in a fiery ball. Let's see. Oh yeah, it works. Alright, so now my girlfriend could be really mad at me when I'm out here late at night working on the car. I did buy the little eye bolts, or not little, they were pretty big, for the corners, because I'm going to put a strap from this corner right here all the way down to an eye bolt down attached to the foundation on all 4 corners, so when it gets really, really windy, at least I have a fighting chance. Right now the car's pushed all the way to the back, and I did push it just so I can hook this up and I can move it forward just a little bit. But even then, if I even moved it up a foot, I'd still have a lot of room. So I am really liking this setup. Now hopefully next spring, I can gather the funds to where I can finish this, make it into an actual garage, workshop, whatever. Let me show you what I was working on, because last video that I just uploaded today, I left off with the pedals, and I just kind of threw everything here last night. Like I say, it just got too dark on me. I got some beer. I started putting these guys on. those titanium pedals. And I got the gas pedal on, no problem, bolted it on. Started doing the second one, and I started tightening those little nuts on the back. And the welds on the titanium nuts, or titanium bolts and pedal, broke off on that one. So I was a little bit peeved, but I went in and did the other one, figured out that I have to, what you didn't see when I made these pedals is I had to put them on a 200-pound anvil, down on a little kind of a swage, well, not a swage, but kind of like an arch, and then hit it as hard as I could with like a 5-pound sledge, just to bend it ever so slightly. It took several whacks, and I thought I bent it enough to get the radius that the pedals already have. Well, I didn't. There was still a little bit of wiggle room, so I tried to tighten it, and it, like I say, it broke those welds. Now on the last one, the clutch one, what I ended up doing was I ended up just bending the metal on the pedal that's already there and made it flat enough to where I can bolt it on and not worry about breaking the welds. So I took the other one today, and I didn't bring it inside with me, but I took the other one back today. Had to re-weld those 2 bolts behind the cover, and then when I did that, it melted the powder coating, so I had to resand everything, and then re-blue it, and then re-powder coat it. It didn't take that long, but still it was kind of a pain. So I'm going to go ahead and bolt on this last one, and I just got to figure out how to hook up or connect to that dead pedal, because like I say, I was going to put it on the original dead pedal that's usually comes on the cars, but I'm not sure if a right-hand drive comes with a dead pedal. Comment below and let me know if a right-hand drive does come with one. I don't know if one does or not. I've got a mounting plate made out of aluminum for the Honda ECM and the PDM. Last night, in the middle of the night, is kind of one of those things, and I don't know if you guys are like this, but I sit there and think about what I need to do to get this car done. And this particular PDM controls the ignition, the fuel, which means the fuel pump, the fan, and 2 accessory ports. Now, I want to run, of course, headlights, turn signals, and rear turn signals. I don't have radio, AC, heater, nothing like that. Now, I know the turn signals require some sort of a relay to work. I'm not sure if I could use this accessory port here for the turn signals. I did order from Chase Bays a dual fan harness to run the 2 Mishimoto fans, and that kit comes with the relay. So all I have to do is hook it up to the port, the power. This comes with the power as well already. This is, I believe, the power wire that goes to your fans. And in the Chase Base kit comes with, I believe it comes with the temperature sensor as well. I mean, I already have one, but we'll see how that goes when I get it. You know, yesterday I was feeling a little down. Didn't want to do anything. So I sat in here and kind of just thought about the process of what I need to do. And I don't know how many of you guys do this, but the car doesn't even run, and I just sat in the driver's seat with the steering wheel and just kind of pressed the brake and the clutch and just kind of imagine me driving it, you know. So but it's almost done. Well, not quite. I mean, well, if you think back, if you look at videos way back a year ago, year and a half ago, however long it's been, this was just sitting in a field, covered with dust and mice poop everywhere. And it's like one of those things where it took a lot to get it to where it's at now. So hopefully all the hard work's going to pay off, And I'm gonna not be so negative when it comes to this. I know there's gonna be problems and stuff like that when it comes to building a car. There always is. I should know that already. And you just got to work through them, and it takes time. But I think I'm becoming a little impatient because I'm so close right now. So hopefully, with all the parts that are going to be coming in, it'll give me the motivation that I need to at least get the engine running. All right, so battery finally came in. A little bit of confusion with how it was shipped. I ordered these online from a guy named Battery Pete, and that's his actual name of his store, Battery Pete. So, comes with either you can mount them here or mount them with the posts. Don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but it also came in the kit with this mounting tray, which is pretty cool, I think, made out of aluminum. Now this thing over here that I finished, well not finished, but still kind of working on, is the sheet of aluminum that I had, and the battery I want to mount somewhere right here. Now, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet because I can see how these kind of stick out like that, and if I put it on there, there'll be a gap. I could put a spacer or something, I don't know. But yeah, the battery's going to be mounted here somewhere, and it'll give me enough room to run the wiring, cables, and I know I'm going to need a little bit more room to put other things like a power distribution block, because I have to run power to this power distribution module. I also have to run power out to or run power from the alternator and to the starter. So I need 3 lines. So instead of having 3 lugs hooked up to, or 3 wires hooked up to the battery, I'll have a power distribution block somewhere right here, and that'll kind of distribute the power to the places that I need. The way I'm going to mount it is with this guy, and basically this goes mounted on the firewall with some riv nuts that I have already in place now. So I'm doing 3 things right now at the same time. I'm making the mounting bracket for all this stuff right here. Well, not bracket, but the I guess the panel. And then I just finished this table that was a custom order. I got to do the tongue oil finish on it. And then we're going to my very, very messy shop with everything all over the place. And then I am making another table right here. And also I gave the panel a coat of paint, and it's dry already. So this is the idea that I came up with to mount that battery. I don't know. I try to really dial that aluminum welder in, And I get some pretty good welds sometimes, but then it just starts sputtering and I think what I need to do, like, see right here, came out perfect. But I think what I need to do is I need to preheat this before I weld. But anyways, it'll hold. So I put some riv nuts on the plate. This will go mounted to that plate with bolts. The only thing I'm worried about is, you know, when you're driving the car, the vibration and the bouncing, that it's going to bend that bracket down. And that's the only thing, my only reservation on that platform that I just made. I wanted to make it out of some like 1/4 inch aluminum, but I didn't have any 1/4 inch, so I used the 1/8 inch stuff. And like I say, I might just order like some thicker aluminum and then just bolt everything together instead of welding it. That way I could use a lot of bolts and make sure it's strong. But yeah, that's kind of the idea that I had. I mean, like I say, it'll hold, but I think over time with all the bouncing that this is just going to bend. And so, yeah, I think I'm going to see about ordering some even like 1/2 inch aluminum. It's just not, this isn't big, it's only like 5 by 7 inches long. And then I could bolt it together and then bolt it onto this, and that'll make it plenty strong. So I just gave this piece a second coat of black paint, and ordered a couple of things. I ordered some 2.5 by 2.5 angle aluminum with 3/16 inch thickness. My idea here is basically that I'll put an angled piece of aluminum here and another piece up on top, and then screw or bolt on the battery bracket on this side and that side. And I kept on coming out here, and I was wondering what all these little white, like little specks. These are ashes from the fires that are going around our state, New Mexico and California, and you know, everywhere else. And there's a couple of fires around here as well in New Mexico, but not as big as in California and surrounding areas. Alright, so I just spent the last couple hours, maybe 3 hours, taking apart the rear section of the chassis harness, which includes the tail lights over there and right there, and also the fuel pump, which is around that area right there. And kind of took off like a lot of the stuff, the wiring that I didn't need, like the rear defrosters, the door pins, you know, some grounds that were on there. And that's pretty much all that stuff that's in that big old pile right there. And so I got to go through all of this to separate the headlight harness, and somewhere in there I believe is the gauge cluster harness. There's also the charge harness that's right there, or the main battery harness, but I'm going to end up making a new one of those because it's going to be mounted in a separate area. And speaking of mounted in a separate area, I went ahead and mounted that plate that I made. So you can see it actually looks pretty good. The only place I screwed up was right there, where I drilled the hole off to one side instead of where it should be. But the battery is going to be covering all that, so I think that'll be okay. The only thing I don't have in there is down at the bottom. I know it's kind of dark in here, but the PDM, which goes under there. So I'm pretty sure everything is going to fit in. I just have to wait for that aluminum that I ordered to make those brackets to hold the battery in place. Went to the hardware store today, picked up some cable, and picked up, let's see, some other things, clamps and turnbuckles, stuff like that, because I was checking out the camera today, which is kind of mounted right there, and the wind kind of kicked up today, and this thing was rocking and rolling and just kind of moving everywhere, and you can kind of see how things are kind of moving in and out. It's still kind of windy, so I bought this stuff so I can attach the upper part of the frame down to the base with some like eye hooks and the clamps and the turnbuckles and stuff like that, just to give it a little bit more support, or not support, but kind of tie it down, because yeah, this wind is just getting crazy now. I'm actually going to go ahead and probably even put a couple of screws down here. I didn't want to attach it down at the bottom because I wanted to have access. There's no zipper like how the front is. I wish they had put zippers in the back like this, but I didn't attach it down at the bottom because I wanted to be able to take it apart or take it off so I can put the car onto the trailer. But I guess I'm going to have to attach it because this thing just keeps on whipping back and forth. So I think it was the last part of this installment of this build. I had painted these rotors, and of course I've moved the car back and forth since, so you can see that it's kind of scraping where the brake is. I'm not actually, haven't even applied the brake, but it's kind of scraping on the brake pad. But I also had found these titanium axle nuts that this one was too big, and I contacted the company, and they said that they don't make one for the B16 axle. So they said they have plans to, but they don't know when. This is the original bolt, or yeah, the nut that was on there, just an OEM nut. Now I found these guys doing an online search. These are titanium as well. I found that if you get a 24 millimeter nut, and I think these are actually made for motorcycles, but these fit on B16 axles, and I just tried one on and it fits perfect. So if you really wanted to, you can put some safety wire on it, because they don't have the little flange there that you tap into the little cutout right there. But I'm just going to throw on a little bit of this thread locker. And I'm not using the high strength stuff, I'm just using the medium strength stuff in case I need to take it off again. But I just, like I say, I installed this one and torqued it down, and it was holding tighter than this guy. So even with the thread locker, I think I'm safe. Of course, titanium is way stronger than regular steel, so I don't foresee any problems. But like I say, these were not made to be used on a vehicle, as far as I know, but they fit. So I'm going to use them. I think, you know, I could have probably even gone the extra step and put a washer on the inside, but I don't think I need to with the thread locker. So I'm going to just go ahead and install this and just kind of dress it up. Like I say, you can't even see the nut once the wheel is on, unless you have, you know, a wheel that doesn't have a center cap. And eventually I want to get a set of the TE37s for this car, and most likely I will. But like I say, for now these will be kind of hidden, and they will be just kind of like a dress-up item. as easy as that. Just let this stuff dry off. Now, I used a little bit of acetone on the threads before I put this on, and I kind of used a little wire brush to clean off that grease and stuff that's on there, so that way that thread locker will kind of have a clean mating surface. But that looks really nice. Like I say, you can't even see it, but still, it's kind of an upgrade that I haven't seen a lot of people do. Last night, well, let me start off from the beginning. Since I was, I don't know, 18, 19 years old, I've always I started to have these anxiety attacks, which really suck. You know, because I didn't know what was going on in the beginning. Of course, over the years, I've kind of learned to deal with that without any sort of medication. I've kind of learned to take control of it, I guess. And the way I do it is by just kind of thinking about other things other than what's going on with my body. And I haven't had one in a long time. In the middle of the night, which sometimes happens, I started to have one. So I started thinking about my car and what I need to do with it. And one of the things is, of course, the panel that I'm making right now to mount all the electronic components like the ECU, battery, PDM, stuff like that, and how I was going to mount that battery. Now, I've already ordered some stuff to kind of figure out a way, but last night I was thinking, why do I even have to add anything to this right here? So what I'm going to try and do is take this apart and let's see. Okay, so if I take this part off right here, I could still mount it, just have to either cut off like this tab and the tabs on the sides, and that just basically would be a decorative piece, which I really don't actually need. Now, these guys, if I were to bend this one up to the point where I could put a bolt through, imagine this being bent up this way, a bolt through there and there, this part down here being bent down that way, and actually the bolts almost line up. I just have to widen them up a little bit, and then just bolt them in place. And then these two top pieces here will be attached to the plate, and that would still give me room to mount the plate here and down there with that bolt right there. And then all I have to do to put the battery in is take off this bolt or this nut and this and these two bolts right here. Alrighty, so this doesn't go on yet. Alright, so that's what happens when you overthink things. I was wanting to make a bracket that came off the bottom, one off the top, and this is all I had to do. Just make a bend right here, drill a couple of holes and then just bolt it on, and it's ready to go. Now this one isn't tightened yet. Once you tighten it in, it's going to cinch it down. There's a little bit of adjustability with these slots and this slot, so that'll hold it in place. Of course, I'll need to bolt this panel on before I bolt on the actual battery, but that's no problem because the holes are clear on the backside. Yeah, that's all I had to do. Amazing, huh? And things that you think about in the middle of the night when you're having an anxiety attack. And there you go, installed. Of course, I'm going to have to take it off again when I run the wiring through the back for the PDM. But it looks like that bracket that's holding the battery side is holding it pretty good. There's no movement in it after it's all bolted down. And I have the USB cable running from the ECM. I'm trying to figure out a way to hook up another like adapter or something like that, so I could run another USB cable from the dashboard to the computer. That way I don't have that cable just kind of dangling there. So, but yeah, that's installed. Like I said, I just need the PDM side, and now I can figure out where to drill the hole to run the harness through. A couple of things came in the mail today. This I ordered about a week ago, so it came in pretty quick. And this guy also I ordered. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need it. Don't know for sure yet, but I might just go ahead and install it anyways. And this is the primary cutoff or kill switch for the battery. That'll go somewhere on the dash. So yeah, it has removable key to help with anti-theft, I guess. But yeah, it's, you know, you put this in there, turn it, connects the main power from the battery to all your components. So definitely pretty sure going to need this guy. And comes with a couple extra keys and this cap for the actual shut off. And then this came in, like I say, from Chase Bays. This is the harness that I was talking about for the dual fans. So this comes pre-wired. Alright, so today, after I finished a couple of things at the shop, I decided to get off my butt and make this rear chassis harness. Well, not make it, but wrap the wiring in the loom and put the heat shrink tubing on the ends. Of course, I did get rid of a few things that I wasn't going to be using, such as the overhead light, the door pins, the center tailgate lighting, as well as the defrosters, and a couple of other things that are, you know, not needed for a car like this, which took off quite a bit of wiring actually. And all that was left, this one up on top right here, is the fuel pump. And this one here with the ends that I don't have anything on yet is the or I need to put a ring on there for the ground. Up front here, one is the power to the fuel pump, and I'm assuming the other one is the fuel gauge sensor. So I got to figure out which is what on that one. Not sure if I want to use the fuel gauge on the cluster, hook that up or not. We'll see. And then the bottom one is the rear tail lights, turn signals. This back part right here up to the main connection. This is a ground that goes right here. There's two grounds that come off the two lights. That's connected into one. Goes up to the front there to the plugs. I'm not sure what this blue plug is right here. I know this one has the majority of the connections as well as this little green guy. Alright, so I redid the wiring on the fans, and just to show you kind of like the process and why it takes so long to do wiring. Turn on the light here, but basically you got to cut the wire because you got to figure out how much you need, of course. Cut it and then solder. You have to put the first set of heat shrink tubing, put the sleeve over it, push it all the way down, and then put the other heat shrink tubing, and then slide this sleeve kind of over all the way this way. Put 2 more pieces of heat shrink tubing down over the 2 wires, put some flux, and then solder them. And then slide the 2 smaller heat shrink tubings over the connection, shrink them down, and then pull this sleeve down, and then shrink both ends, and then put a couple of small ties. And I did that to both of them. And so these will go plugged in right here and right there. I did retap this, so that's good. And what I did here on this side was I mounted the little box, and this contains the 2 relays and the fuses for the fans. I put a riv nut on both ends. There's a bracket that comes with it. Put the riv nuts in, put some stainless steel bolts with some Loctite. And now for the ground, same thing, just drilled a hole, put a riv nut, put a stainless steel bolt, hold it in place. This guy is going to run up through here along the top. I need to pull off the fender, and I got to extend it too because it's not going to be long enough. It'll only go like up to right there, so I got to extend. I got to cut this right here, extend it, put the heat shrink tubing and all that other stuff, run it down into the cabin where it will go attached to the PDM. So this is, well, not complete harness, but basically contains the majority of the interior and engine harness as well. The only thing that I need from this jumbled mess is here it is. Okay, so this is the side I need. All right. So this side here must be the passenger or left hand side right here. This right here is the right hand side. Now I believe I have this side already in the back, and I need this side to connect the headlights. So I need to isolate this part of the harness, and I got to take off all of these loom and clips, tape, everything. Follow this where all the wiring goes down to where it's connected. Get rid of all the stuff that I don't need, and then redo the wiring. Alright, so out of that jumbled mess of wires, I took off a lot of electrical tape and loom and clips, all kinds of stuff. So it's been about an hour and a half, I guess. And I traced all the wires that I needed. The 2 headlight connections right here, and the two left and right signals, turn signals. This is all I need. Just took a trip down to Harbor Freight, picked up a couple of things. Got me a little table / work chest, whatever. A new vise for the shop, a new jack because my other one just gave out, and a bunch of other crap. And some stuff in the back of the truck as well. I don't know if you can see it. Yep. Yeah, just stuff that I needed for the workplace at the house and at the store. I needed something that I could, instead of sitting on the floor working on the car, I bought this thing, and it has kind of like a work surface on top, and I can roll it around. And I'm thinking of putting a like a piece of wood or something like that on top, like as a tabletop or something like that. I don't know. Let's see if it works. But I needed it anyway, so I can move stuff, you know, kind of roll stuff around inside there. But you got pretty windy today, and my daughter's trampoline looks like it flew somewhere. I'll show you the video now because I downloaded it. But yeah, I got a notification on my motion sensors at the house. Took a look at the video, and all I can see is the trampoline kind of flying away. But my little carport garage thing stayed intact, so I guess something worked out. I mean, my daughter never used that trampoline. She used it like 3 or 4 times anyway, so, but I'm gonna go home now and maybe see if I can find it. I don't know. We'll see what happened to it. All right, back at the shop. The canopy. Got this little 2-ton aluminum floor jack. Compared to this guy, this thing is a beast. It's like it weighs like 90 to 100 pounds. And this guy is like really light. I should have just got 2 of these guys. But yeah, my other one gave out, which I've had for years and years and years. This little plunger completely sheared off. And I could probably fix it, but like I said, I've had him for probably 6 years, maybe 6, 7 years. So it's time to put him into retirement. Which I should be doing myself. But hey, what the hell. I got this guy. I'm hoping it's low enough, because this one actually seems lower than that guy. But yeah, we'll have to see, because this car is pretty low. And I got this guy put together, which was a real pain in the ass. And yes, I know I have this upside down, because I'm going to get a piece of wood that goes over the top, a little bit larger, to use as kind of like a workstation, worktop, whatever. And I got the 2 wires, or the wires that I had taken apart from that harness for the headlight and the turn signal. And it actually seems like, even though it looks pretty long, it looks like it's gonna work. All right, so yeah, we'll do this when I have 2 free hands. Okay, so I got the wiring pretty much situated on this side of the car. I had to remove the fender, of course, so I could put these wire straps or clamps. They're insulated. They have a rubber kind of seal on the inside. Here's one right here, but they're stainless steel, and they have that rubber kind of insulator. This wire right here is the turn signal and headlight socket on this side right here. On behind it is the wiring for the fan. This guy that goes right here. So I had to actually extend it right here, and I did order some 1/8 inch loom like this, so I can go ahead and cover the whole thing, and then just put some more heat shrink to kind of hide that red wire that's right there. I mean, it's all hidden behind the thing, you can't see it anyways, but still, it's kind of one of those things where when it comes to wiring, I just tend to be a little OCD, I guess. And you have to be, or else things won't work, of course. I got all the grounds on this side here. What I did was I put a nutsert or riv nut, whatever you want to call it, in on this side underneath where you can't see it. And then same thing on that side over there for the fan ground. And then put a stainless steel bolt to hold it in place on both of these guys. And I also put the riv nuts behind these clamps as well, behind each one. Now these bolts, these 2 bolts right here, I haven't put any on this one yet because I know what's, like I said, I want to take it off. I put some Loctite, the medium strength Loctite. I just don't want the bolt to back out and wires to be flapping around in there. So hopefully that takes care of that. I still need to do the other side, but I got to take off the fender on that side as well. I am hoping, fingers crossed, that I can get this car started by the end of October. I don't see why not, but like I say, when it comes to wiring, I tend to be a little OCD with all the connections and all the loom and everything, and I actually ordered some loom that looks like this but has red kind of stripes inside it, and that one's going to be the power wires that go to the starter and the alternator, as well as the stuff inside like the battery cables and all that other stuff. I'm going to wrap with the red striped loom. Hopefully everything works. So hopefully, yeah, it's going to be one of those things where I'm just going to be sitting here just doing wiring, you know, doing cables, doing loom, running connections, stuff like that. One thing I forgot to show you guys the other day, and I kind of went on a tirade about how the radiator caps did not fit on the K-tuned neck. Well, I haven't looked at their website where I ordered this from, but according to them, it says that you have to order a Type B radiator cap for those necks. I originally, I don't know if I still have it here. Let's see. Yep. Now, this is the K-tuned piece. Now you see both of them. You see 2 of them. You're not, your eyes aren't deceiving you. There is 2 of them. And now, I was trying to make the radiator cap fit on this guy, and so I grinded down, or not grinded, but filed down that little kind of, let's see if you can see it on this one. You can't, but there used to be a little kind of extension right here, just a little bit, and that radiator cap wasn't going over that. So I kind of filed it down, and I still couldn't get the radiator cap on. So I got a hold of K-Tuned, and we went back and forth, and sent him a picture of what I had, and after several emails, finally came to the conclusion that I didn't have the right radiator cap. Who knew? I mean, I didn't know there was 2 different types of radiator caps. I thought they were pretty much all the same, you know, except for ratings, you know, where it releases the pressure. But yeah, I ordered a Type B radiator cap. Now this guy, I got online and I ordered this because I thought maybe if I replaced this might have been machined wrong, or not this, but the K-tune part might have been machined wrong. So I ordered one. I found one online, $25. So I was like, hey, $25 can't go wrong. So I ordered it, and it's the same thing as the K-tuned one, but it actually even just both, I mean, it screws right on and everything. And I ordered a Type B radiator cap, so hopefully that'll be the end of this whole ordeal. If I had only known from the beginning, I wouldn't have been ordering all these radiator caps that I thought would fit, and now I have 5 different radiator caps that'll fit, like a regular radiator. So, but you live and you learn.